order and face a fine. But companies with a turnover of less than $40 million a year would be exempted. Other concessions include a proposal whereby the first company to report anti-competitive activity to the authorities would be immune to prosecution and a fine. Because cartel arrangements between competitors can be notoriously hard to detect, competition authorities around the world often have to rely on whistleblowers to denounce them. And a way to encourage different parties to do so is to grant them protection from prosecution.
Although we feel Hong Kong is a very free market, nevertheless we have different sectors with few key players. We have had manifestations of narrow price bands, low product substitutability. These are all manifestations.
The first draft is expected to be completed in September and will then be tabled to the Legislative Council. It's hoped the guidelines will be ready by the middle of next year. João da Silva, TVB News.
In Macau, 3 legislators have asked for a delay in the vote on a bill that would grant financial benefits to the chief executive and principal officials when they leave office. The lawmakers want the bill to be further studied by a committee, and the Macau government has expressed support for the idea. 3 executive councillors who are also legislators asked the president of the legislature last night to return the bill to a committee for an in-depth review. This after thousands of people took to the streets yesterday to protest against the bill, saying the proposed benefits for high officials after their term is complete will put a heavy burden on taxpayers. The Macau government issued a statement in the early hours today to endorse a request for a delay. Legislators will discuss the request tomorrow and take a vote on whether the bill should go back to the committee that came up with the proposed benefits in the first place.
Well, Hong Kong's civil service unions are demanding a pay rise of more than 5% for junior and middle-ranking civil servants. That's more than what the government proposed based on the latest pay trend survey. Jenny Lam reports.
The Junior Police Officers Association is one of the unions that refused to join a pay trend survey committee meeting last week. Today, their chairman Zhou Chan, speaking after a meeting with Civil Service Secretary Benjamin Tang, said they have demanded a hike of 5.2%. His association was one of the 3 police unions that walked out of the committee last June in protest of the pay rises. Chan stressed that his association will not rejoin the committee this year. The pay trend survey recommends 3.8% and 4.71% increases for lower and middle-ranking officers, respectively, and only senior staff will get a 5.96% pay hike. The Chinese Civil Servants Association is one of the parties which endorsed the pay trend survey committee's report last week. Their representative, Li Kuai-yin, now says they want a 5.96% hike across all 3 salary bands.
We find that for the lower and middle band civil servants, they have relative lower income and with an across the band pay adjustment can to a certain extent to release their pressure from the inflation and also can boost up the morale of the civil servants.
Li Wai-yi of the Model Scale 1 Staff Consultative Council also asked for a 5.1% pay rise for low-income civil servants. She explained this matches the inflation of the Consumer Price Index A, but admitted she would settle for the same pay hike at the survey's recommendation for middle-income civil servants. Li will not rule out the possibility of withdrawing from the committee if her minimum demand is not met. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
Well, scores of international school students protested outside the Legislative Council today to oppose funding for a rubbish incinerator at Shet Gu Chau. They were accompanied by their teachers. They want LegCo's Works panel to reject the government's funding application tomorrow. They say the incinerator will harm the environment and the problem of garbage disposal should be resolved through more recycling. They handed in hundreds of signatures in support of their cause to legislator Kenneth Chan.
The Prince of Wales Hospital has set up an operating theatre that allows doctors to perform multiple phases of a complex heart surgery at one stop. As Vicky Kong reports, the new facility will reduce the time needed for surgery as patients won't have to be transferred to different departments during the surgical procedures anymore.
A hybrid operating theatre that's equipped with a germ-free environment for open wound surgeries and X-ray scans for endovascular stenting operations inside blood vessels. The Prince of Wales Hospital is the third public hospital in Hong Kong where thoracic aortic interventions can be carried out at a single venue. Patients suffering from bulging arteries and torn aortas no longer have to be wheeled to different departments during surgical operations anymore.
The time required for patient transfer the range, usual range is 60 minutes to 100 minutes.
And it's not just about saving time. It's also about saving lives as patients can get infected during transfers.
Although we do not have any scientific statistics about how much percent of the mortality or morbidity risk has been decreased, but we know for sure that now the risk arising from patient transfer is zero.
Since its launch in 2013, the theatre has performed one-stop thoracic aortic surgery for 29 patients. Mr. Wong is one of them. Wong says he was able to walk 5 days after surgery, and he credited the theatre for his speedy recovery. That's because surgical wounds created here tend to be smaller thanks to this scanning machine that can create images of the heart and blood vessels 360 degrees.
Prince of Wales Hospital is the first public hospital to adopt this robotic C-arm imaging device. As the arm can capture images from more angles than before, the images generated are less likely to miss blood vessels that are hidden behind organs or tissues. Vicky Keung, TVB News.
All right, Tony, over to you for sports.
That's right. NBA playoffs to talk about, and also a bit of news about Hong Kong's rugby. Hong Kong's dreams of making next year's Rugby World Cup are still alive, despite losing to Japan 49-8 in Tokyo yesterday. The local team will now try their luck in a qualifying competition against Uruguay in August. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's Rex So apparently has a different kind of World Cup fever. The boxer hung out with local football legend Leslie Santos today, who gave So some pointers on his footwork. So will put his undefeated record on the line this Saturday in Macau. The 26-year-old is expected to fight for a world championship later this year. Well, let's talk about the NBA playoffs now. And the Oklahoma City Thunder got back in their series with the San Antonio Spurs by dominating Game 3. As Jameson Wong shows us, the Thunder were happy to welcome back one of their key players.
Serge Ibaka was back in the lineup for OKC despite what was earlier thought to be a season-ending calf injury. On defense, Ibaka had 7 rebounds and 4 blocks, while offensively he was 6 of 7 from the floor and scored 15 points. The Thunder's 2 main stars also had big games. Russell Westbrook with 26 points, 8 rebounds and 7 assists, while league MVP Kevin Durant had a double-double with 25 points and 10 boards.
As we come up on 4 minutes remaining.
The final score was 106-97. Manu Ginobili led the Spurs with 23 off the bench, but Tony Parker managed only 9 points on 4 of 13 shooting. The series stays in Oklahoma City for Game 4, with the Thunder hoping to tie the best of 7 at 2 games apiece. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Formula One now, and Mercedes made it 6 wins in 6 races as Nico Rosberg took the checkered flag at the Monaco Grand Prix on Sunday. Teammate Lewis Hamilton was second. Meanwhile, Ryan Hunter-Reay won the Great American Race, the Indianapolis 500. 3-time Indy 500 winner Helio Castroneves was second. It was the closest finish in almost 25 years as the American crossed the line 0.06 seconds in front of the Brazilian. It was Hunter-Reay's first Indy 500 championship. Well, it took a while, but pitcher Josh Beckett tossed the first no-hitter of his career in the LA Dodgers' 6-0 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. The no-no came after more than 300 major league starts over 13 seasons. The 34-year-old struck out Chase Utley to end the game and earn a place in the history books. Prior to yesterday, the 2-time World Series champion had never come close to a no-hitter.
And that's the news for tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Disaster can strike when you least expect it. for 3 Wednesdays starting June 4th at 9:30 on Pearl.
唔用油都炸到好味道。
飛利浦 Air Fryer 免油鍵炸鍋，用高速空氣循環技術代替油炸，幫你減少 80% 油脂負擔。創新只為令你更健康，更多選擇，更多健康美味。
Innovation and you, Philips.
開波啦！
咦，阿斯朗無啦啦都喺度插花嘅，
點解要俾黃牌啊？
唔係黃牌，係莫釘我。個草地又爛又多水氹，梗係失準啦。
一貼一噴，啲蚊即刻彈開啊！莫釘我，耶！
Sun Life Financial presents The Weather Report is brought to you by Sun Life Financial.
Good evening. Summer is around the corner, bringing us a very hot and sunny afternoon today. Thanks to a subtropical ridge, Hong Kong experienced fine weather with a few isolated showers. Today's temperatures range from about 27.8 to 32 degrees Celsius. The current temperature is about 30 degrees with the relative humidity standing at 72%. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh.
Cloudy and very hot during the day. Temperatures will range from 27 to 32 degrees. It will get even hotter later in the week. Tomorrow's air quality health index will range from low to moderate. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 10. Now it's time for weather around the world. Rain in Taipei and Xiamen. Thunderstorms in Guangzhou and showers in Macau. Cloudy in Beijing and Tokyo. Thunderstorms in Bangkok and Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. Sunny in New Delhi and bright in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo and showers in Nairobi. Bright in Brisbane and Sydney. Showers in Toronto and thunderstorms in New York. Sunny in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Showers in Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt and Zurich. That's the weather. Have a lovely evening.
It was brought to you by Sun Life Financial. Life's brighter under the sun.
Where is everyone?
Hello? Hello? When there's no one around, the bad boys get badder.
Changing gear with my left hand. How multitasking was that?
Oh, I'm ruining my Ferrari.
Tonight, Top Gear at 9:35 on Pearl.
This is Tara Little, student candidate. She's gonna be riding along with you guys for the next few shifts.
It's not what you think. Yeah. Sure you got it all figured out.
We're just friends.
Explain to me why Heather barely talks to me.
You in charge?
Who wants to know?
Wednesday, Chicago Fire at 10:40 on Pearl. Imagine the unimaginable. Sailing on sand. Harvesting red honey. And dyeing your pet pink. They are dreams no more. Thursday, Don Pollock's World, Exploring Quirky at 9:30 on Pearl.